Welcome everyone to today's presentation in support of White Ribbon Australia. I'm Claire, I'm a counsellor at Access Wellbeing Service.
Hi everybody, my name is Anil, I'm a counsellor at Centacare.
We're just going to head over to the PowerPoint and get started. So, yes, we as individuals have rights and responsibilities to keep women and children safe, but also the workplace does as well. It's really important that our employers and workplaces never excuse or minimise violence against women, that they kind of set that example.
Mm-hmm.
They prioritise the safety and well-being of the victims and survivors, both within and outside the workplace. So just being, your time at work isn't the only time that the workplace is responsible for you. They need to make sure as a whole person that you're okay. They also need to hold perpetrators to account for their actions, which again, for a workplace is like, well, that's personal.
Yeah.
It's not professional. There's a boundary there. But if you have someone in your workplace who's perpetrating violence in their home and you become aware of that, then it's really important that you do find ways to address that.
That's right.
So you need to maintain a safe work environment at all times for the survivors and for the staff who've also witnessed violence. So it's not just having it perpetrated against you, but also witnessing and seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
In saying that, we do need to respect the rights of perpetrators to a fair process and employment.
That's right.
So everyone can learn and everyone can change. How can we support them to change is really the question. And a way we can do that is to support workplace initiatives to address those underlying drivers of violence against women and children to stop it before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
So as a whole, as an organisation, you must consult your workers on their physical and psychological hazards and risks in the workplace, whether they're working from home or in the office. So we've had a lot of people working from home during COVID, and maybe home wasn't a safe place to be working. Maybe work was safer.
Yeah, I must say on a personal level, when COVID did happen, I did worry, for this particular reason of women who may be stuck at home with perpetrators.
Yeah, unable to escape even for a moment.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you are asking your workers to work from home, to really have a conversation with them about, are you safe within your relationship? Is it safe for you to work? And if not, can we find alternative solutions? Manage them before the decision is made, basically. But also trust that your workers will be best placed to know where their issues lie. And so trusting them when they say, look, it's not that, okay, I can't concentrate. That might be their way of saying, I'm not safe at home. So under the Fair Work Act, employees experiencing impact of family domestic violence can take unpaid family domestic violence leave. This is within the law. They can request flexible working arrangements, and they can take paid or unpaid personal carers leave in certain circumstances as well. So the workplace isn't alone, employees and employers aren't alone. Access Wellbeing Service is here to help. We provide counselling for employees and their family members if that's an agreement that's been made with Access Wellbeing Service. We can provide children's counselling as well, but also workplace training. So we can create and tailor a training specific to your organisation, or we have packages that you can choose from as well that really can talk about how to have this conversation within yourself. So training directed towards managers about managing their staff experiencing violence or perpetrating violence. Or we can also do kind of broader conversations with the whole organisation about what is family domestic violence and how do we stay safe. A really important one that we can do as well is manager-initiated referrals. So this is where, as the manager, you can request that one of your staff members has a conversation with a counsellor in regards to a particular topic. So it could be on anything, it could be a performance issue, but it could also be perpetrating behaviours. So if you learn that you have an employee who's perhaps pertaining to beliefs that promote gendered roles or condones violence against women and children, you can actually ask them to attend counselling to sit and question whether or not those beliefs are okay, how they can actually take responsibility for their thoughts and feelings around the safety and wellbeing of women and children.
That's right.
We're located in Joondalup, Midland, Perth, Gosnells and Bunbury. We're all highly trained counsellors and psychologists, and when we're working with children, we use child-appropriate tools and strategies as well. So we work with children from the age of 6 upwards. Obviously, the way that we'd engage a 6-year-old might be quite different to an 18-year-old.
That's right.
We do have after-school appointments and evening appointments as well. And we are short-term solution focused and strength-based. So we try to support people who come into our service to identify, what resources they do have within them, to enact some change, and to create their world to be safer and happier place for them.
Mm-hmm.
When accessing a counselling service at Access Wellbeing Service, it is confidential, so we don't report back unless there's immediate concerns for you or your family member's safety. And because we're short term, we offer referral pathways for specialised services. And if ongoing therapy is required or a diagnosis or report is necessary, we will certainly find the most suitable service and make those recommendations. Ultimately, it's up to you guys to decide where you want to go within the limits of our, the number of sessions available. One place we do refer to is Centacare.
Yeah. So, what do we do at Centacare? Well, we do a lot. We offer community services for you and your family. Our role and aim is to strengthen people and communities through professional counselling and support. There's a wide range of programs in metropolitan and rural WA, all sorts of different programs addressing all sorts of different issues. We have a variety of locations, including Joondalup, Midland, Mirrabooka, Perth, Cannington, Bunbury, Esperance and Kalgoorlie. So quite a few locations.
Yeah, all your services are, funded.
Yep.
And the costs can be quite low, can't they?
Yeah, so we operate on a sliding scale, so it is based on your income, and most of our programs are either partly funded or, actually all our programs are either partly funded or fully funded by the government.
So some services are free?
Some services like the SFVS, which is a specialised family violence service, is free, yes.
Yes, and so that really would, overcome that barrier that women leaving and fleeing or trying to understand their experience of violence can help them engage in the service because they may not have the resources. They may have been financially controlled.
That's right, exactly right, Claire. That's why all our services addressing domestic violence is free, including the perpetrator ones.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so like I was alluded to before, we do have a family and domestic violence service. We have a men's domestic violence counselling service. We have a men's group. It's called Men Choosing Respect. I actually co-facilitate that group myself. It's a wonderful group. I've seen a lot of men come through the group who have made some really positive and long-lasting changes.
Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Sure. So the Men Choosing Respect group is a psychoeducational group. It's a behaviour change group with the aim of addressing abusive attitudes, beliefs and behaviours. It's done in a group setting, so I think it's really helpful for men to come together and I think there's a huge shame and stigma involved in it, and when they come together they go, it makes them feel comfortable knowing that, I'm not the only one with an issue. We work with them and provide a lot of psychoeducation, and our main goal is to keep children and women safe. So even though we are working with the men, we are working with sort of those lenses of women and children's safety. And
so you facilitate the group?
Yeah.
And your co-facilitator?
Yeah, so there's a female and male co-facilitator. It's a 24-week program, and it It runs for 2 hours per session. So all up you get 48 hours of work. Yeah.
I'm imagining that the co-facilitators being a male and a female would really model what a healthy relationship looks like.
Definitely. I think it shows them how to be respectful when you are in a some form of relationship and interaction with the female. Yeah. Okay, so we also obviously have women's domestic violence counselling. We also got the women's group called Building Resilience. That is run by female facilitators. And we have the specialised family violence service, which is focused on, obviously, as the name suggests, being a specialist service addressing family violence. We also have children's counselling, like Claire was mentioning. We also use child focused approaches when we're working with children, and all these services are available across all the different locations mentioned before.
With the women's group, I'm imagining that obviously there's a group of women who've all experienced violence of some form, and their stories would be different.
That's right. Yeah.
But also quite similar.
That's right. Yeah.
So they would also recognise that they're not alone. That
exactly.
Because the aim of family violence is to control and have power and make the female feel unworthy, all alone, isolate them. So to come together with a group of people who perhaps recognise that, this happens quite a lot, and we can support each other to rebuild our sense of self. So it's not just about going over the trauma of violence, it's about building the capacity within themselves, a sort of strength-based approach.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so you want to go through this?
Sure. So there's a number of other services that we might refer to, both Centacare and Access Wellbeing Service. Really important one is 1-800-RESPECT. So anyone experiencing violence, whether perpetrating or a victim of violence, can call that number and have a conversation with highly trained professionals about their experience and where to from here. Crisis care is also available, and Kids Helpline, and these numbers are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Kids Helpline's great. It's very child-friendly and child-focused. I know my children use Kids Helpline all the time, just to have someone to talk to apart from, their parent. There's also the Women's Domestic Violence Helpline, specialised for supporting women in their experience, and Sexual Assault Resource Centre, because we do know that sexual abuse is quite prevalent within a family domestic violence relationship as well. Specifically for men, the Men's Domestic Violence Helpline. So 1-800-RESPECT will take calls from either gender, and then we have those separateness. And I guess just going back to your groups as well, that the reason why we wouldn't put men and women in a group together to learn about how to have respectful relationships is because it just wouldn't be safe for women, would it?
That's right. And I think it would be quite uncomfortable for both to start looking at, for example, perpetrators to start looking at their abusive attitudes, beliefs and behaviours in front of women, and vice versa for women to talk about their experience while they are in a room full of perpetrators.
Yeah, but having that female co-facilitator to really be the voice for the women in there. So the survivors themselves don't need to be their voice, but the co-facilitator is running the group with you can be their voice.
Right. Very good point. Yeah.
Of course, if ever you feel at immediate risk, call 000 for support. There are lots of online support services, lots of websites to go to learn more information, eSafety, Our Watch, Lifeline, and of course White Ribbon. There's also lots of helpful apps. Have you had the opportunity to have a look at any of these?
I haven't, but I've heard great things about them. So,
because they're specifically for women experiencing violence, these ones. So ARC and Daisy, Positive Pathways, Help Me, Girls Gotta Know, and Penda. So they're all government initiatives, White Ribbon initiatives. Girls Gotta Know is a fantastic kind of broad one for children. We know that they experience violence from a very young age. So the more we get information about what's okay and what's not okay, the better. So Girls Gotta Know is great. ARC and Daisy, again, it's about referring into more services.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone, for participating in today's conversation. Thanks, Anil, for joining me.
Thank you, Claire.
And I really hope that this gives you some opportunities to have this conversation with each other and with your family about how to keep women and children safe, not just in your home, but all across the world.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and stay safe.